What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. And today this is my second attempt recording this video. The other one it just kind of derailed. I was ranting too much. So we're here with this one. What this will be. Last week I reacted to the college football playoff rankings, and then released a video showing my rankings. Now, this week I'm just going to combine them. Just what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally compare rankings. I will have the committee's rankings, I will have my rankings, and we will show why mine are better. And maybe, I don't know what's going to happen with this. But starting off, I'm just going to go through the list. At 25, I have Liberty, 9-1. They just shut out UMass, 45-0. Malik Willis, 16 of 24, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. College football playoff has them unranked. And why is that, you may ask? It's because they decided to put the University of Washington in. No disrespect to Washington, but Liberty's look better. Liberty's just straight up look better. Washington has played 3 games. They're 3-0. Beat Oregon State 27-21, Arizona 44-27, and Utah 24-21. Not bad. However, Liberty is sitting at 9-1. Okay. Liberty has won the game 34-24, 36-34, 28-7, 40-7, 38-21, 56-35, 38-35, 58-14, and 45-0. To me, that looks better than what Washington has done. To me, Washington has given up 20 points in all 3 of their games. They've given up at least 21 points. Liberty has only given up 21 plus points to Western Kentucky, not great. FIU, pretty decent offensive team. Syracuse, who is a Power 5 team. Southern Miss, though, not. I'll come back to why that's okay. Virginia Tech, a solid team. And that's it. However, I'm okay, specifically the Southern Miss game. They gave up 35 points, but they also scored 56. You can't get too mad when there's just so many possessions happening. That, yes, Southern Miss would find the end zone, but they still lost by 21 points. It's like, I don't think Washington deserves to be in it quite yet. Good team. Very top 30 team. Not quite in top 25 yet. College Football Playoff Committee had Louisiana, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and at 25, I have them a bit higher. Next, at 24, I have the University of North Carolina. I think this is, considering they just lost, like, it was an interesting game. They lost to Notre Dame 31-17. Sam Howell had a decent game, 17 of 27, 211 yards, and 1 touchdown. But the rushing game nearly disappeared. I mean, especially what we've come to expect from UNC's rushing game. Considered one of the better backfields in the country. They did nothing really. They didn't do what we would like to see them do. Prove that they're a great team. So I think 24 is honestly a little bit generous. Like, originally I was doing this, I didn't even have them ranked. However, the bright minds that the committee is, they have them ranked 17th. My apologies. They have the University of North Carolina ranked 17th in the country, raising 2 spots after losing. The only game I could consider this year that has happened where a team can gain spots by losing is the Indiana-Ohio State game. That's the only game I've seen thus far that you can justify a team rising spots. But nope, the committee has UNC rising 2 spots and 7 spots ahead of me. At 23rd, I have Tulsa. They've looked like a very good team. They have a very solid team. They're sitting at 5-1. They didn't play this week versus Houston. I would have liked to see that game, mainly because it's football and I like watching football. But I would like to see the matchup, just see how Tulsa can do against solid opponents. But we're fairly close with me in the committee. The committee has them at 24th. Not bad. That's if I'm within 2 of the committee, they did it right. At 22nd, I have the University of Iowa. Again, I thought this was fairly generous, as they are 4-2. Yes, they're on a 4-game win streak, one of the hottest teams in the country. They beat Nebraska 26-20, and honestly, it felt a little bit more lopsided than that, at least in my opinion. It felt like Iowa should have won by a bit more, but they didn't. And that's why I have them 3 spots lower in the committee. But the player this was Iowa's quarterback, Spencer Petras, 18 of 30, 193 yards, 1 touchdown. Iowa is a fairly well-balanced team. Spencer Petras, solid quarterback, very, very solid. Can get a few yards, but can get the touchdowns. But the rushing attack from Iowa also pretty solid as well. But I don't think they're worthy of the 19th spot that the committee gives them. At 21st, I have USC. I have been doubting USC ever since before they started playing. I don't think USC is a legitimate team. I do not think USC should be in the top 20. I am happy that the committee has dropped them down a little bit. They didn't play this week, so I can't penalize them too much, though I would like to. But they've just squeaked out of 2 straight wins. Their first 2 games squeaked out. Did not look like a top 25 team, but we kept them in there. Well, I should say they didn't look a top 20 team. Committee kept moving them up. I don't see what the committee sees in USC, though they did move them down to 20. They didn't play this week, but I think 21-20, fair spot. At number 20, I have the University of Wisconsin. And that is because the game against Northwestern, I think as a Wisconsin fan, just shocked me so much. The 5 turnovers has scarred me. But it's okay. Still a top 20 team. Have a chance to prove ourselves against Indiana this week. Yes, Indiana doesn't have their starting quarterback, Michael Penix. I hope he's okay. I hope he gets better for next year. Would love to see him come back and dominate again, whether that be next year or the year after. I would love to see him come back to this Indiana team. But Wisconsin, they had their game against Minnesota canceled, which hurt. I definitely could have bumped them up quite a bit in the rankings. But I will absolutely take 20th right now. The committee, on the other hand, I almost forgot to compare them, has them at 16th. The committee's absolute idiots. I'm sorry. Yes, they have been around the game more than I have. But apparently we didn't watch the same football game. Maybe it's because I'm more highly critical of Wisconsin. But it's in other cases as well. I am not a huge fan of the college football play this year's college football play committee. Not a huge fan. At 19, this is where I have Louisiana. The reason they are at 19th, one, they're 8-1. I don't recall who their one loss is against, but this last week they played. They played UL Monroe. Okay, not a good team, and we would expect Louisiana to dominate. They won by 50 points. 70-20. I don't know what else you could really ask. Might as well just score 100. But yeah, they lost to Coastal Carolina, a very good team. But Levi Lewis, I don't even understand where the offense came from in this game. As their quarterback, Levi Lewis, 18 of 25, 147 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So that's where the touchdowns came from. Yeah, never mind. I see it now. The ground game was just very balanced, and very efficient too. You have Trey Ragus with 11 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown, which is about an 8.6 yard average. Elijah Mitchell, 8 carries, 93 yards, 11.6 average, 1 touchdown. Michael Orphy Jr., 3 carries, 59 yards, 19.7 average, 1 touchdown. Levi Lewis, quarterback, 5 carries, 55 yards, 11 yard average, and 2 touchdowns. Like there's just a very balanced rushing attack. Very balanced team. Yeah, I think they're the 19th best team in the country. But as mentioned, the committee has them at 25th. At the 19th position, the committee does have Iowa, who I have 3 spots lower. At 18, I have the Northwestern University. They just lost to Michigan effing State. Like, seriously. Michigan State is not good. Like, for comparison, they lost to they lost to Iowa 49-7. They lost to Indiana 24-0. They lost to Rutgers 38-27. This loss, just like what it was for Michigan, is inexcusable. Except for this loss is even worse because Northwestern's a better team and they lost by more. Yet, the committee has them at 14th. The 14th best team in the country. Just lost to a team that against its last 2 top 25 matchups only scored a combined 7 points. What? This just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get why Northwestern is only at 14th for the committee. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I have them 17th. Committee has them 14th. At 17, I have the Oregon Ducks rocking those lemonade uniforms against Oregon State on Friday. They didn't work though. Lost 38-41. Another not good loss. However, Oregon has played well the rest of the year. They've played pretty good football. They've definitely been a second half team, like without a doubt, a second half team. Like if we look at the box score in their first game against Stanford, we're up 14-7 going into half. Then went on to go up 28-7 and ended up winning 35-14 against Washington State. We're down 19-14 going into half. Went on to outscore the Cougars 29-10 in the second half. Like, Oregon is definitely a second half football team. Against UCLA, a little bit of an exception, as they went in to halftime up by 3, and then they didn't score in the fourth quarter, which didn't look good. But against Oregon State proved to be the fourth quarter team. I mean, going into halftime, Oregon was up 28-13. Oregon then Oregon State outscored Oregon 28-14. As compared to 24-13. And I don't know what I'm getting at. But Oregon State proved to be the fourth quarter team in this game. Led by Tyler Show, 21-31, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions as well. But overall, it was enough. He did get hurt towards the end of the game. And Travis Dye. Wait, that's not Travis Dye. Sorry. Shoot, who was it? But whoever it was, backup quarterback came in. Don't think it was Travis Dye, at least. Came in, rushed for the game-winning touchdown. Really cool to see. But yeah, I don't. Oregon's getting way too much hate for that loss. Committee has them at 23. I have them at 17, where the committee has North Carolina. At 16, I have Marshall. They have just looked so dang good. I mean, you go and almost all their games are better than a certain team that begins with a G and ends in Orja ahead of them. Like, all of their games are better than Georgia's games. Like, they beat FIU. Well, okay, maybe this one doesn't look too good. But, wait, that was last year. Never mind. They beat Eastern Kentucky 59-0. They beat a solid Appalachian State team 17-7. Beat Western Kentucky 38-14. Louisiana Tech 35-17. Florida Atlantic 20-9. UMass 51-10. Middle Tennessee 42-14. What the heck's wrong with this? Like, the worst game here is probably against Florida Atlantic when they only won by 11. Sorry. Okay, like, Marshall has done nothing wrong, yet the playoff committee continues to thrash on these group of 6 teams, not giving them the respect they deserve, as they have Marshall coming in at 21st. But instead, at 16th, they have Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a good team. Not 16th quite yet. At 15, this is one the committee I actually shared. This is the first one thus far, I think, and that's Oklahoma State. The overall game itself, I am a fan of 3 teams, 3 college football teams: UNM, Wisconsin, and Texas Tech. Yeah, but I just had my brain just froze for a second. I was watching the game as a Tech fan, wanting Oklahoma State to win, and I was not happy that I found myself thinking, well, maybe we actually can win this one, because that's not good for Oklahoma State. They beat us 50-44. Defense was nowhere to be seen. I expect that from Texas Tech, but not from Oklahoma State. But something good from Oklahoma State: Desmond Jackson replacing Chuba Hubbard. 36 carries, 235 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Yes, this was Texas Tech, but still, beastly numbers. And that is something any Oklahoma State fan should be excited about. And I think 15th is a great spot for Oklahoma State. And as I mentioned, the committee and I shared the same ranking there. Next, at 14th, I have Coastal Carolina. They beat Texas State this week, 49-14. CJ Marble, 16 carries, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns. Absolute beast. But where does the committee have him ranked? 18th. Coastal Carolina has literally done nothing but win. Like, I just looked at this. Their worst game probably was against the Appalachian State game didn't look too good. I mean, score-wise. But the Chanticleers have looked decent all game. I can't pull up their hurry up. There we go. That's Marshall. I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to pull up the schedule if you can't hear my typing. But it doesn't want to work. There we go. Just looking at their schedule, their worst win would probably be against Georgia Southern, only winning by 14. They won 28-14. Coastal Carolina has literally done nothing to upset the committee, other than, sorry, they don't play in a Power 5 conference. Like, this is their first year football relevancy. Like, I'm overjoyed that College Game Day is going there on Saturday. But I have them at 14th. The committee has them at 18th. At 14th, the committee has Northwestern. Coastal Carolina's better by quite a bit. Georgia, I have at 13th. This was the team I was referencing when I said started with G, ended with Orja. Georgia. They're 6-2. Their 6 wins have looked solid wins. However, those 2 losses have looked embarrassing. Their game against Alabama, pitiful. Well, not pitiful. Pitiful quarter and a half. If you're supposed to be a top 10 team in the country, you should not. Alabama should not have done what they did against Georgia. They shouldn't have. It's like if you just let's look at the box score. Why is it not pulling up? Well, that's fun. Watch it pop. Sorry, I should have been much more prepared for this. I apologize. But Georgia was winning through most of the game. See, does it give? It does not. I was hoping it give like time and lead. Not on what I'm looking at. But Georgia was winning, and Alabama came back and won. I get it's Alabama, but if you are a top 10 team, committee, they're a top 10 team. Alabama shouldn't have been able to do that. Florida game, without one of their best players in Kyle Pitts, should not have been able to beat. Well, he played. He was injured, got injured, and Florida should not have been able to do that to a top 10 team. Florida's a great team. Alabama, great team. But if Georgia is truly a top 10 team, that should not have happened. Like, I think if you put a team like Indiana in that position, Indiana wins the game against Florida. Or wait, if you put Indiana against Florida, Indiana maybe doesn't win, but they keep it pretty close. If you put Indiana in the position that Georgia was against Alabama, maybe they blow it, but the score doesn't end up 24-41. Maybe 24-27, 24-30. Okay, like these top 10 teams, Iowa State probably doesn't blow that lead against Alabama. But I have Georgia at 13th. The committee has them at 9th or 8th, sorry. It's pitiful. It's just absolutely horrible, especially considering that they have BYU at 13th, who has proven to be a much better team than Georgia. And this has got me furious, maybe because it's late at night and I am tired. I should go to bed, but I'm not, because I want to make this. At 12th, I have Oklahoma. They didn't play this week, but they the last couple games have looked like one of the better teams in college football. I have them at 12th. They're sitting at 6-2. The committee has them at 11th, so close enough. I'm happy with it. At 12th, the committee has Indiana. At 11th, I have Miami. Also did not play, so I can't really penalize them, but I also don't feel comfortable moving them up too much. So they're sitting at 7-1. The committee has them at 10th, so overall pretty well. Like these three, then including this next one, all pretty close. I have Indiana at 10th, so these last three, all within 2. So I'm happy with it. Indiana did just lose Michael Penix, and it is not good for Indiana. That is not good for Indiana, especially having their second biggest game of the year against Wisconsin this week. I really hope Michael Penix gets better. I hope Penix gets better. I hope he comes back and dominates next year or the year after, whenever it is. I want to see him come back and play for Indiana. But this week they beat Maryland 27-11. Maryland hasn't been the same Maryland that we've grown accustomed to. Maryland's a solid team, led by Tua's brother. Very solid team. Has a chance to win out, but unlikely. But there's a chance. But Indiana being 27-11, and Stevie Scott, the running back, 24 carries, 80 yards, 3 touchdowns, great numbers. The committee has them at 12th. Iowa State at number 9. This is another one the committee and I have in common, as there's only one more we disagree on. Iowa State 7-2 beat 17th Texas 23-20. Brock Purdy was amazing. 25 of 36, 312 yards, 1 touchdown. Absolute insane numbers. Breece Hall didn't have the numbers you would like him to have. But Iowa State, oh my gosh, I am tired. Iowa State still found a way to win and are ranked number 9th. This is the last disagreement I have with the committee. BYU at 8th has proven they are a top 10 team. I think if this year was played like a normal college football year, could be the 5th or 6th best team behind Cincinnati. I just bump those two up 2 spots. But yeah, they didn't play, so I can't move them up, can't move them down. I don't think, unless someone really impressed me, which no one right behind them really did. So they stay at number 8. They do need to schedule some games. I would love to schedule a game, see them schedule a game against Washington, a top 25 team now apparently, and just blow them out of the water. I would love to see it, but I don't care who it is. BYU needs to schedule a game. At 7, this is where it's all similar. But yeah, at number 8, College Football Committee has Georgia. Definitely not rigged at all. And then 7 through 6, we have 7 through 1. Cincinnati, Florida A&M, or Texas A&M, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Alabama. The exact same. I think these are the top 7 teams in football. The one I want to focus on is A&M and Florida. The debate will go back and forth. People like watching Florida a lot more because of Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts. A&M's the better team, and this week proved it. Neither game for Texas A&M or Florida was great, as they played much inferior opponents, LSU and Kentucky respectively. A&M won 20-7, Florida 34-10. Well, you might say, well, Florida won by more, so they should be ranked ahead. I disagree there. Florida's defense did step up, but as they were expected to against Kentucky. A&M's defense was not supposed to keep LSU to 7 points. Let me see if I can pull up the projections for this game. But shoot, I'm just having mental lapse right here. But yeah, I think A&M's defense really showed why they are the 5th best team. They could win. They just found a way to win, and that's what good teams do. Yeah, I found CBS, according to CBS, the spread was 15.5 in favor of Texas A&M. They covered, I believe. Wait. No, they didn't. They didn't cover that. Won by 13. But the over-under was 60.5 points. It ended up being 27. A&M has a very good defense. That is something that Florida's missing, and that is why I have A&M ranked ahead. But anyway, that'll do it for me. The top 4: Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Alabama. I hope you all have an amazing day. Please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And I will see you in the next video. Adios.